Hi, Anna here from Double Proficiency, and this is the episode in which I am coming back to reading Herbalist Primer to you because it is almost autumn equinox by the time I'm recording it. It probably already is the equinox when you're watching it. So let me tell you about the coolest plants and their magic of this very late summer and early autumn. It is my personal favorite time of the year because everything is so colorful, but it's still sunlight and it's still adorable outside. Soon it's gonna be winter and we will all be miserable, but for now enjoy the beautiful colors and some of the plant folklore. Let's start with the absolute classic of autumn here in Europe, which is heather. Heather is a popular low-growing herb of woodlands and moors, bringing luck, protection and a chance to reach immortality through the understanding of spiritual realms. It's a perennial dwarf shrub growing rigid, many-branching stems. Small, green scale leaves are borne in opposite pairs and cover most of the stems. Flowers are usually pink, mauve or purple, with much rarer white variation. The scent is woody and soft, but very faint and quickly dissipating. You can use heather tea for kidney and urinary tract conditions, as well as breathing problems, colds, coughs and insomnia. You can add it to a bath to fast and treating wounds. Just put dried heather in a piece of gauze or cheesecloth to avoid any pieces of the herb sticking to the wound. You don't want infections, do you? Externally, you can apply the warm infusion to skin lesions, punctures and eczemas. You can use it as mouthwash in case of tooth pain or bleeding and inflammation of the gums. Magically, heather protects from violent crimes when carried. White flowers, the rare ones, are most powerful in that regard. Worn or used as house decoration, it brings luck. Add it to a wedding bouquet to bestow blessing upon the newlyweds. Make brooms from dried heather for sweeping and purifying rituals in your home. Burn heather with ferns outside to bring forth rain. To increase beauty, take a candlelit heather bath, each full moon for a year. Some sources claim that the vanity magic comes at a price, but let's be honest, vanity doesn't really exist, does it? It's okay to take care of your body and it's okay to be proud of how you look. It's fine. Enjoy yourself. It's self-care. Heather's resilience brings us closer to immortality. It's one of the ingredients for the elixir of life. You can use it to conjure ghosts and allow them to guide you on initiatory paths to understand the spiritual realms. Carry an amulet made of wood or drink the tea daily to prolong natural life and help your spirit connect with the immortal truth of the universe. Use heather during harvest celebration in the late summer and the rituals of waxing alive at the first sight of spring. That's heather. Heather is... You know what? I used to love heather. It's just beautiful when you see it thrown across the moors and those areas of ancient woodland, but only on the edges, and it just paints the area with such amazing colors. But then I watched the musical Heathers and the whole thing it's simply destroyed for me forever. So thank you. I should stop watching musicals, they stay with me for way longer than anything else. But now, let us skip to something else. What do we like to see at this time of year? How about Rowan? Rowan is amazing. We have a whole bunch of trees outside of our house. And every time I pass them right now, they are full of just heavy bunches of red fruit. It just feels like warm hug and a protective charm all around our house. Rowan is actually a tree or a shrub. It has edible red berries, favorite of many birds and some people. Not many, but some. It protects from evil and misfortune, aids divination, and yields a perfect wood for wands. It is a tree of protection. Each of the red fruits bears a 5-pointed star at its end, repelling evil and malicious spirits. Plant a tree by your house to create an area of peace and safety from demonic sightings. An equal armed cross made from twigs tied with a red string is a powerful amulet against enchantments and malevolence. This is very much a Slavic thing. You can usually notice Slavic-inspired magic by just realizing that we use red for protection as opposed to the West, where it's black mostly. But almost every time you see red used for protection, especially when it comes to strings or threads or embroidery, it's probably ours. You can carry a sprig of Rowan during overland travel to keep your path straight and to not get lost. A divining wand made from a branch will point to the correct direction. Burn leaves or dried ground berries in rituals to invoke a deity and ask for their advice and guidance. Use Rowan to contact or summon any spirit, fairy, familiar, guide or elemental. They obey the summon for as long as the Rowan is burning. What happens afterwards depends on the summoner and the summoned. The timber is well suited for rune carving, has a strong magical signature and lends its power to divination tools, wands and staffs, and bows, and musical instruments. I am now supposed to read further that the dark heartwood is the most potent, but I got completely distracted by a memory of the jewelry my friends and I were making when we were kids. We were just picking Rowan berries straight from the tree and then putting them on a thread and wearing them as beads. They didn't last for long, it's obviously got either dried or moldy within days. But it was the most fun I ever had making jewelry. They also look amazing. They look very much like the classic Slavic red beads that you can see. The korale you will see in most representations of Slavic folklore. Rowan is just perfect for it. Not only it's protective, which is also the point of wearing all those red beads around your neck, but it's also environmentally friendly and you're harming nobody because very few people actually do anything with Rowan. And I think the birds will survive without a couple of berries. Oh, you can also make jelly. It's not a very popular thing because Rowan berries are actually quite astringent, kinda acrid. But with the proper amount of sweetener you can make them into the most delightful jelly. It's going to be tart and perfect with pastries. It's full of vitamin C. Okay, let's pick one more plant of late summer and early autumn. What to do? I wanted to tell you about ferns, but I got interrupted and now I no longer want to. So instead, let's talk about raspberries. Yes, let's talk about raspberries. They are delicious, they are beautiful, and now is the perfect time for them. So, did you know that this brambly shrub with delicious red fruits brings relief during childbirth? It cleans and cures wounds, strengthens love, and protects the house from returning spirits. Something to keep in mind before Halloween. Best raspberries naturally grow in the woodlands, creating open stands under tall trees and dense stands in clearings. They prefer moist, loamy soil and can thrive both in full sun and partial shade. You can collect the leaves whenever they are available and dry them before using them in tea. And the ripe fruits well, they're best eaten fresh. But you can also freeze dry them and use them forever until they run out. If you want to use raspberries in magic, and it's a delicious thing to do, you can hang branches at doors and windows to provide protection to the building. The raspberry branches prevent the spirit from returning to the house once it has left, both in case of departure after death or during astral travel. Beware! You can serve raspberries as fruits, desserts and tea to strengthen romantic love. I know I would have fallen in love if somebody just gave me a beautiful raspberry dessert. You can carry the leaves to alleviate the pain of pregnancy and childbirth. Raspberry juice invokes the power of blood in its kindest aspect, as a carrier of warmth, nutrition and love. Use it in spells and rituals of help and protection, especially towards the loved ones and blood relations. Use the woody bramble to calm down scared and bewitched animals. Tie a piece of it to a saddle to protect a horse or other mount from enchantments and getting spooked when faced with magical effects. I know this is not something that happens particularly often in the common age, but you don't really want your horse to be scared of Fae, right? I mean, on the off chance you're on horseback and visiting a place that Fae frequent, better not risk it. Also, raspberries are a thing in the Polish culture that is way outside of the general understanding of raspberries in folklore. We have two particular aspects of raspberries. First of all, there is a very popular poem that was written about romantic love and making love in a raspberry bramble bush. It's very sensual, it's incredibly engaging, and if you tell somebody in Poland that you went with somebody to the raspberry brambles, they will know. They will know what happened. There's also a second part to this, which comes from an old poem by one of our biggest poets of Poland. The poem is called Balladina and it covers the story of two sisters that wanted to marry a prince, a noble, let's call him a prince. And he couldn't decide between two of them, so he sent them both to the forest to see which one of them is going to collect more raspberries, and the one who is going to be most successful is going to be his wife, because the guy had no other idea of how to pick a good wife. It's a thing. The eponymous character, Balladina, failed at collecting the raspberries. Her sister Alina did way better, so Balladina killed her and then had a raspberry colored mark like Cain's mark on her forehead, and she became the wife of the prince and a terrible Lady Macbeth type character, very tragic and also completely unbearable. So the connotations with the romantic love as far as raspberries come along are there. There are plenty, and at least in the Polish folklore it all works together. It's dramatic, it's romantic, it's sensual. I wonder how it works in other people's folklore. If there are any raspberry stories where you come from, would you mind sharing them with me? I think that's gonna be enough for today, because I can't really speak for long, because I'm kinda sick. And I'm not talking about this sick dress I have. It's very witchy and I love it. Also, I have to definitely solve the lighting problem, because spooky shadows. Anyway, if you haven't yet, pick up a copy of Herbalist Primer. It's a really cool book that I wrote, and I think you're gonna like it if you read it on your own. The second volume, Geologist Primer, is being slowly finished. It's not far now. And we'll see what happens afterwards. Meanwhile, you can join our Patreon and join those beautiful people you can now see on the screen. Being a part of our Patreon gives you early access to the stuff that we're writing and publishing and recording, so if you wanna throw a couple bucks our way, have at it. Thank you for your support and thank you for watching this video. Give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and do the other things that I'm supposed to tell you to do. But also don't do them if you don't wanna. I'm not your mom. I'm not anybody's mom. Okay, I'm done today. Bye. Hello, dearest people. Anna here from Double Proficiency. I decided to make another piece of Anna reads her own book, because why not? But this time I decided to do it outside, which is a place where I frequent more often than I pretend to do on the internet. You know, there's a beautiful thing about being outside, is that no one can hear me here, which makes everything so much better. At the same time, there are people passing by the nature trail every now and again, and the good thing is, even if they have any comments, I will not understand them because my Finnish is still disappointing. In any case, welcome to the new video in which the lighting is way too harsh and I can't even say if the sound quality is going to be good because we got a new camera and I have never used it before. Without any ado, welcome to Anna Reads Herbalist Primer, whenever she needs to make a video. This time I thought we are going to go through a couple of my personal favorites and also plants that you can actually find outside, you know, late summer, early autumn. Because the moment I'm recording this, we are still before the autumn equinox, so it is technically summer. Although I haven't seen the sun in about a week and a half, so this is the first beautiful day outside and I fully intend to take advantage of it. I said without any further ado, but then I got completely off tangent, so let's get back to magical plants and what you can do with them. How about some ferns? So guess what? Just as I was starting to read the first entry to tell you about ferns, my camera died because I took it for the first walk and then proceeded to photograph every single piece of mushroom and colorful trees and whatever flowers were there still available. Hence, the moment I got to actually record the thing that I set out to record, my battery was dead.